I'm Dave Abram.
And I'm Kristin Lagata. Welcome to Arundel County Week in Review. In this episode, we'll talk to a police officer who trains people how to defend themselves during a mass shooting, and we'll take a look at a senior center where people are learning how to speak English. But first, making headlines this week. National Night Out was a big hit despite some nasty showers that cut some of the events short. Thousands of folks came out in Annapolis, Shadyside, Early Heights, Crofton, Brooklyn Park, and Laurel. Those who made it despite the showers, which unfortunately caused Fort Meade to shut down before they really ever got started, had a great time. There were food trucks from vendors like Mission Barbecue and Krispy Kreme. There were canine demonstrations, fire trucks, helicopters, police officers, and firefighters. Basically, Dave, it was a wonderland of law enforcement and food trucks.
It was for you. And you know, I was at Fort Meade, so we got rained out, which was a shame. It was sad. But
Brooklyn Park is where I was, and it closed an hour early.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I'm sitting so I rode on with the police, so I didn't have to fill out all the paperwork and do all that stuff to get on to Fort Meade. So I was kind of stuck. I couldn't like run to a different one or whatever. But I'm sitting in the police vehicle and it's pouring down raining and I can see through the drops the Krispy Kreme truck.
Oh,
and I'm just
right
thinking,
there.
I want the Krispy Kreme truck and I couldn't get there.
Oh, well.
But
it's unfortunate.
It's
you had a
great
good time?
Event. I had a good time.
Good.
And you know, if you've never been to this, go next year because it's worth it.
It's so wonderful.
It's really nice to see our police and firefighters and sheriff's deputies and all of the law enforcement being able to interact with the public, and everybody's smiling, everybody's having a good time, and that's what it's all about. It's about we can work together on stuff and not see these guys as...
I do feel like people think this is an opportunity to go have fun and get a lot of free swag and food, and while all those things are wonderful, it's really about making it known that you're out and about in your community and developing those relationships with whomever your local police officers are, because a lot of them are designated to your community, and it really makes a difference when you're able to have that relationship and tell them things that you've seen that maybe aren't right. So.
And kids love it.
It's so much fun. All the trucks. And I misspoke. Brooklyn Park only shut down 20 minutes early before.
Oh, sorry, Brooklyn Park.
I don't want to make it. We actually
know you're legit, Brooklyn Park.
We almost finished. It was super fun. So
we got nothing. Like we started setting up at like 5:30, and just the heavens opened up. It was raining just on us.
Yeah.
We were in communications with people at other events, and they were fine.
Crofton was really bad too.
Yeah, Crofton.
Because Rich went to Crofton. He said,
Yeah, there were a lot of umbrellas.
Couldn't even get me pictures. So. Well, we want to thank all the residents who came out to show their support for public safety personnel, and we'll definitely see you next year. So make sure you get out for National Night Out.
Yeah, it's a great event.
Yeah.
Check it out. Well, this week we're taking the fight against heroin online. Starting on August 8th, the Not My Child team will be hosting 2 experts each week on Facebook Live, Kristin, at 9 a.m. The first of the 5 episodes in the series will feature 2 young people in recovery, Jen and Brandon. They will spend a full hour answering any questions people have about their stories and knowledge of addiction. Hopefully, Kristin, the kids are home from school, mom and dad maybe can join them for this. They can ask any questions they want of 2 attractive young people who somehow fell into the traps of prescription drugs that led to heroin addiction. And both are working really hard every day to stay sober. In other episodes, we will have addiction counselors, medical experts, elected officials talking about the heroin problem in these online town halls. Now, if you want to make sure you don't forget, go to our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/myannarundel, no spaces, and like the page. You will get a little bubble telling you when the sessions go live. Aren't you proud of these kids for having the guts to go on camera and talk about their personal?
Yeah, I think it's really admirable, and I think it's really great that we're doing this before school starts.
Yeah.
So you can have the opportunity to watch this with your children at home before school starts back up. It's so important to be involved, so make this a family thing. Make sure that you have it on. And absolutely, because they can identify with when they see people that are their own ages and realize it's that easy to fall down that path. So.
Well, we like to drive home the message that, Not My Child is the perfect name for this because people are in such denial and they think my kid's never going to do
exactly.
that. But they don't
realize. Or you
realize,
see someone and think they don't look like someone who'd be a heroin addict, so not that kid.
Right. And the thing is, no matter how much we talk about it, I think a lot of people still don't get that we use the word heroin, and the first thing you think about with heroin is a syringe in a dusty, nasty, burnt out apartment in the city. You don't get there first. A lot of people, it starts with they have a sports injury, they break their arm, they have back surgery, something like that. They get prescribed painkillers, and they get addicted to those painkillers. They're overprescribed, or their doctor's not, telling them, hey, you could get addicted to this. And then they run out of the prescription, doctor won't give it to them anymore. It's very expensive on the street. Next thing you know, heroin, it's cheap, it's easy to get, and that's how you get from, the pills to the syringe. So, people need to wake up if they think that they don't need to know about this. And
yeah, another thing about painkillers, if you don't think that you'll need them, you are within your right to tell your doctor, don't even prescribe them for me. I have a lot of friends that'll just say, nah, not for
There's
me.
a famous saying in the Not My Child world, and it is, pain never killed anyone. So you're not going to die from pain. It may be super uncomfortable, but you're not going to die. You can die from getting addicted to opioids.
Absolutely.
So just be careful about it, folks. And Facebook Live, cool, right?
Yeah.
Cutting edge, right?
Yeah. Way to
should be fun.
Be on trend with that.
Yeah, so make sure you guys join us because we need people to ask lots of good questions.
Very good. Well, Dave, we have good news this week for one of my favorite things, trees.
Oh, you love the trees.
I love the trees. The Chesapeake Bay Trust has awarded 3 grants paid for by Anne Arundel County of $500,000 to preserve forests. The money will pay for conservation easements, which require that land remain forested forever. You heard that right.
Forever?
Forever.
Forever.
Forever, ever?
Forever.
And it gets better.
Nice Kanye reference. I like that.
That's Outcast, but okay.
Oh.
The total amount of acreage these grants will cover is 137 acres in the Palisades, Herring Bay, and Cranberry Woods forest tracts. That's a lot of trees, Dave.
Right?
If you think that you have land that might qualify for this program, please call the Chesapeake Bay Trust at 410-974-2941. You can also read more about the details at cbtrust.org.
All right, so this is great news.
Yeah.
Because let's just repeat that, 137 acres.
Yeah.
That's a lot of property.
That's a lot of trees.
And, the county executive Shu did this partnership with the Chesapeake Bay Trust because, not to get too into the innards of government here, but there's something called the Forest Conservation Act. And basically, when developers are doing a new subdivision or a new project and they can't meet the requirements for tree preservation, they pay into this fund. Now that fund has all these rules about how you can spend the money. So it's not like you can just say, I want to plant 50 trees and plant those trees and move on. It has to be protected forever. So it's hard to find candidates for this. So if you think that you may have a property that fits the guidelines, call them up and they'll make it worth your while for something you're probably planning to do anyway. You can get a little cash.
Save the trees. Hug a tree today if you haven't done it lately. Why not?
Kristen loves the trees.
I love the trees.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll talk to Corporal Jim Shiloh from the Anne Arundel County Police Department, and he's going to tell us about what to do if you encounter an active shooter. Take a look at our community calendar for events happening around town, and we will be right back.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise and be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Welcome back. Joining us in the studio this week, we're delighted to have Corporal Jim Shiloh from the Arundel County Police Department. Jim, how's it going today?
Pretty good.
Good. We're so excited you're here. We were talking off camera. I've actually been honored to have been part of one of your classes once, and you're so knowledgeable, but we'd like to give folks a little bit of background first. Tell us about how long you've been in the Arundel County Police Force and what department you're from specifically.
I've been with the Arundel County Police Department for 27 years.
27 years?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
So it has been.
Thank you for all your service.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
It has been.
And you're a corporal, so are you patrol or are you in a different unit?
I work out of the Community Relations Division, which is
right.
a part of patrol, and Crime Prevention Unit.
Wonderful.
Shout out Captain Tui.
Yeah, we do like Captain Tui.
Yep.
Now, you have this video that offers all these great tips for people in the event that they're trapped by a mass shooter. But you also have 3 basic concepts that you preach. Talk to us about that.
The 3 basic concepts are avoid, deny, and defend. Avoid, if you can get out, get out. Know your alternate exits. It could be going through a window, it could be an alternate door, whatever the case may be. If you can't get out, then deny access. You're going to keep that person from getting to you. Whatever you have in the room, put it up against the door. Do whatever you have to keep that person from getting to you. And then also being prepared to defend yourself and knowing you have that right. It is a defense to the death, and it's their death because you're going home at the end of the day. So.
That's very important. I think at first, sometimes you hear deny. I know at first I was confused when I took the class. I was like, deny that it's happening?
This isn't happening.
Not a head in the sand, click your heels. Yeah, it's deny entry into the room. That's right. Yeah.
Very good. And you had talked about, I remember in the class too, about something specifically with belt and door entryways, about using it to jam.
Right.
Right. Talk to me about that.
Well, the doors, a lot of the doors, they have this hydraulic hinge at the top.
Yes.
And you can, if you have a belt, you could take that belt and wrap it around the hinge, and it's going to slow the person down. Right. The whole thing is just buying yourself a little bit extra time because time is your friend.
Big furniture,
anything
making sure
and
it's
everything.
locked.
Absolutely. Yep. That's
Very
right.
good.
So your presentation is about an hour long, so we can't get to all the great stuff in there, but we really can't tell people enough. Go check this out because it's very informative and you'll be surprised at the things you learn there. But the main thing that ran through my mind when I was watching it is, how did you get interested in this? Like, where did you come up with, I should go preach the gospel about how to handle yourself if there's a shooting?
Active shooter.
Well, and the whole thing is really, it's about building relationships with our community, the police department and our community. We're supposed to be a community of one. And so however we can do that, speaking to the concerns of our community that we're supposed to serve. So when this training came up, it just seemed like a really good option to do that. And it's been pretty successful from what I hear.
I think it's so wonderful to have this kind of training. It's become so unfortunate since it's become such a reality, especially lately. I'm sure that you're constantly having to keep an eye on the news. And what really constitutes as a mass shooting, a shooting event?
It's anybody by any means who's attempting mass murder.
Okay, and it's 4, right? Is that the number? Is there a specific number?
No.
No. Okay. As long as they're.
It's that attempt.
It's the intent.
It's the intent to do mass murder. Yeah.
It's a guy with a gun in a place he shouldn't be.
Or a baseball bat, or anything.
Or a girl,
Yeah.
I guess.
Oh, it doesn't have to be a gun.
Or a gal.
Yeah.
You focus on a couple of the events you focus on that pretty exclusively: Columbine, Sandy Hook, and Virginia Tech. What are the reasons for those 3 that you focus on?
It's lessons learned. It's not judging the people who were in that event, but it's learning lessons from those events. And so, like Columbine High School, if we go back, we pretty much kind of set the perimeter and waited for the SWAT team to come. We don't do that anymore.
And that was sort of the first one? Is that why?
Kind of, yeah. Big in the news. And so basically, a majority, alert is the name of the program that most of the police officers in Anne Arundel County, all of us are trained in alert. So we have more SWAT training because we're going in to get the person who's doing the killing. We're not setting a perimeter, we're not waiting for SWAT. We're going to go in and we're going to get the person.
And that's of course based, like you said, on lessons learned, because when we had that Columbine incident, that they weren't prepared in that sort of way.
No,
so
they weren't.
It was wait them out.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, the police department is starting to take lateral hires starting August 8th, and new hires starting 23rd of August.
Correct.
Talk to us about why you love working for this department, why you love being an officer.
Well, it goes back to 1990, and so I got out of the United States Marine Corps while I was a military police officer for 4 years. So it's really, that was the trade, that's what I knew. And so I just started putting in applications, and this is where I landed for the most part. And I just really believe any job is what you make of it. And so this is just an opportunity. It's been very positive. It's been very good for me. You know, building relationships with people, helping people, and kind of working to make a difference in our community. And I like it. It's been a lot of fun.
And we should say thank you very much for your service in the police department and also in the Marine Corps.
Yes.
Hoorah!
Hoorah!
Thanks. Semper
Right?
Fi.
Yeah.
Right? We love the Marines, and I think there are a lot of people out there who are maybe thinking, I want to do something. I want to help make my community a better place, and hopefully they can see what you're doing and understand that Anne Arundel County. One of the strengths of our police department is that there's so much diversity in what you can do. If there's something you're really interested in, chances are there's a unit that fits what you want to do.
That's true. If you should be able to find something that you really enjoy, that you're passionate about.
And you found your niche.
Yeah.
This is something that you've really
and we
been...
forgot, how do people, if they want to have your presentation given at a community event or at their office or whatever, how do they do that?
The best way is to send me an email, jshiloh, SHILOH, @aacounty.org.
Perfect.
And then we'll make it work.
He's in high demand, we've heard.
Yeah, I bet. Well, if folks out there, if you've got your ears perked, if you're interested in applying for the academy, then definitely you can go to aacounty.org/police or call 410-222-8677 for more information. And yes, you can find Jim's presentation online at Arundel TV. And we thank you so much for coming in today.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Again, I can't say enough. Thank you for your service. And please come back soon. We would love for you to come back. We'll be right back with more Week in Review right after this. Don't go anywhere.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome back. I bet you didn't know that senior centers offer English classes to foreign language speakers. Pat Daly is in Brooklyn Park with more. Pat?
Thanks, guys. I'm standing here in front of the Brooklyn Park Senior Center. I wanted to take a moment to just show you guys this wonderful garden that the members of the Senior Center have done on their own. And I spot a little resident. I wonder if they pay any rent here at the Senior Center. I can ask the manager later. I'm assuming not. But my 5-month-old daughter probably would like me to take it home, but I'm surprised Dad's not going to do that today. So let's get to the subject at hand of what we're really here to do. Every so often, the Brooklyn Park Senior Center offers English-speaking classes to a group of seniors who are members of the Brooklyn Park Senior Center. And here to talk to me today is John Harkin from Anne Arundel County Community College. Mr. Harkin, thank you for joining us. Hagen, sorry about that.
Quite all right.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask you a couple simple questions. Who's eligible for these classes?
Anybody who lives in the county is eligible. Most people who are new to this country, of course, new immigrants are especially needing the English classes, right?
Okay. What do they learn exactly in the classes?
Many students start off with, some of them don't even know how to read and write in their own language. So we teach everything from literacy level English all the way to pretty high levels of English.
Okay.
For functioning in the county, doctors and all that, and how to get by, how to work.
Okay. At the end of the class, does it give them that opportunity to enroll in advanced classes, or what's next for them?
Absolutely, yes. If they pass certain tests, then they can go on to actual college classes, or actually classes for actual like vocational classes, vocational courses that would be heavily in English, of course. Mm-hmm. So they have to qualify for that. Once they do that, they have a career option and an education option available.
Okay, great. And I know that to be eligible for the class, you have to be a member of the Senior Center. So anyone who would like to be a student at the class or learn more about how to become a student, you should probably join the Senior Center, which is a very simple process. So now, well, we thank you, sir. Thank you for.
Anybody in the county is eligible.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. We're now going to take it over here to a couple of students to tell us how they enjoy the class. How are you enjoying the class today, Mr. O?
Thank you.
Yep. What's your favorite part? What's your favorite part about the class?
English conversation.
Okay. Ma'am, what's your favorite part
My favorite part,
of the class? What's your favorite part of the class?
Which one? Reading, speaking.
Learning how to learn.
learning English, please.
Yeah, learning. Right, because learning is one of the greatest things you can do, no matter how old you are. But we appreciate both of you coming on today. Appreciate it very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right. There's lots happening here at the Brooklyn Park Senior Center. Back to you guys.
Isn't it amazing how many people learn English as a second language?
Right?
We should learn a foreign language. What would
Right.
you want to learn?
Well, okay, so when I was in high school, I took Spanish.
Okay.
And I took, of all things, German.
Really?
Yes. I think my teacher retired after my class was over because she was so stressed out from having me in her class. I'm very sorry about
I
that.
feel like I can definitely connect with
really
this teacher.
sorry. I'm sorry.
What was their name? Do you remember?
Frau Farrington. She has passed
Frau
on.
Farrington.
She has since passed on, and she made it very clear that I took some days off of her life. So I apologize for that.
What'd you do in
Really
German
sorry.
class?
But you learned German.
No,
You
I
know,
mean, what did you
ich
do
bin,
that had her stressed out?
Ein Berliner.
What did you do that
Eins,
had her
zwei,
stressed?
drei, fünf,
Stop saying German
vier,
to me.
fünf, sechs,
What did you
sieben,
do?
acht, nine.
What did you do that made you a bad student?
I talked a lot in class.
Shocker.
Oh, you did it too.
Shocker.
You did it too.
I got in trouble for talking too much once in the second grade.
Goody two shoes.
That's it.
Now, but apparently I retained a little bit because when I went to Puerto Rico, I was the one who, if we ever attempted to talk in
To
Spanish.
someone in German?
No, Spanish. I took
Okay,
Spanish
Spanish.
too. I don't know if I cut short the lifespan of the Spanish teacher.
Okay.
Spanish teachers are always so happy all the
I
time.
know, they are.
Oh, muy bien, usted.
Full
Oh,
of life. Joy de
David.
vivre.
Oh, muy bien. You know,
Yeah.
it was always it was a little different. Germans aren't like that. It's not a sunny kind of disposition with the Germans. It's like,
Yeah, I hear you.
yeah. So let's talk a little bit about.
Are you not going to ask me about my language? I asked
sorry.
you a
I'm
question.
sorry, what was your-
I
what was
asked
your
you what
language?
you would want to learn. You didn't even tell me.
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, I'd like to be better at Spanish. I mean,
Spanish.
everybody speaks
Okay.
Spanish, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess French would be nice. I'd use it
That's
one
mine.
time.
I like
you
the
know?
romantic languages. I learned je parle français in high school, and then also went to college, university, and took it with me. And I was actually I tested so well, I didn't have to take it anymore. I already aced it in college.
I did not know this.
Yes, and so
I have a really important question for
spoke
you.
French.
There's a place where you get sandwiches in DC,
Okay.
and it's called Au Bon Pain, AUBONPAN.
Good bread.
I believe that's what it means. Good bread.
bread.
Oh my God, you have just solved the riddle of my life.
I would love to learn Italian.
Okay.
So there you go.
Very nice.
That's mine.
Well, we're gonna get our what's it called?
Français, romantic language.
No, what's the thing where you learn the languages?
Rosetta Stone.
Oh, Rosetta Stone. We're gonna get our Rosetta Stone tapes out. We have them on cassette tapes.
Yeah.
And we're gonna start learning Italian.
Yes, we'll do the whole show in Italian next week.
Bravo! Bravo!
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci. That wraps up this week's edition of Week in Review. You can watch this episode and archive episodes online anytime on Facebook or YouTube by simply searching for Arundel TV. Please tune in again next week for more highlights and news from around the county, and we'll see you next time.
Ciao.
Auf Wiedersehen.